What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the Second Stringers podcast.
Yep.
My name is Will Baldwin, and with me, as usual, is Paul Guado.
Excited to be back again.
We are here to recap Week 2 of the 2019 NFL season.
Yep.
Paul, how's it going?
It's going all right. Got a bit of a cold, but just battling through. I apologize in advance for all the cold-like symptoms you'll be seeing in this episode. Got a bit of a man cold, so it's just a tough go right now, but hanging in there. How are you?
We're grinders here at the Second Stringers podcast network. We don't stop. Nothing can hold us back from recording. Getting on the feet.
Nothing's gonna stop us from getting out there. Don't even worry. We'll be the first stringers eventually.
Yeah, that's we get injured and you can't, as a backup, not show up. It's like the one thing you have to do. You can't get hurt as a backup. That's a quick way to not play. So there's no such thing.
Play hurt.
There's no such thing as being injured when you're a backup.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, we're gonna recap every single NFL game from Week 2. We already did the Thursday nighter. If you missed that, go check out our last episode. It's up on Apple, SoundCloud, and YouTube. But if not, and if you did, welcome. First things first, as many of you know, we picked every single game against the spread, and I went a resounding 11-4.
You've been waiting to brag about this since the end of Monday night, last night, the game.
I definitely didn't try and get my friends to go with me to Burger King today to get a crown. That's for sure.
No, you didn't.
That's not a thing that didn't almost happen.
Oh my goodness.
Paul went a respectable 7-8.
That is not respectable. That's trash. I hope to improve from here on out. I let myself and my fans down, and I apologize to anybody if they used my picks, even though I know nobody did. But we're gonna get better. We're figuring it out. So next week.
There's always the great thing with the NFL is there's always another week until there isn't.
Exactly.
Anyway, so we're gonna start it off with the first morning game that comes up on ESPN schedule. The San Francisco 49ers heading out to Cincinnati and getting a big 41-17 win. The takeaway from this game is Kyle Shanahan might be the best offensive coach in the NFL right now.
Yeah.
He really might be. If you watch this game, first of all, I'm sorry if you actually decided to watch this entire game and this game was over in the first quarter.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the first quarter was decent, to be honest. But the first half of the first quarter was good. It
was a classic red zone game. Like,
yeah,
that was a nice play.
Was.
Oh, that was a nice play. But then you realize that they're all for one team, and you're like, man, I'm not watching that one by itself. But, Kyle Shanahan was – some of the plays he was drawing up, their run schemes are just unbelievable. I mean, Matt Breida looks like freaking prime Adrian Peterson back there, and he's their second-string running back. I mean, you would want to see a little more from Jimmy. That pick he threw in the first half was one of the worst picks of the day.
Yep.
He's lucky Kirk Cousins still plays in the NFL. Otherwise, it might have been the worst pick of the day.
He still plays in the NFL.
But, Jimmy keeps getting better. You can the torn ACL is still an issue, and I think it's going to be an issue for a long time, as it probably should be. He tore his ACL. But if you're a Niners fan, I mean, how can you not be excited? 2-0. You got the Steelers next week without Ben. I mean, 3-0 looks like a legit possibility in a really tough division, but after the years they've been having recently, just to start off with two big-time road wins, especially because they haven't played at home yet. What more can you ask for if you're a 49ers fan?
Yeah, that's very true. And, my note from the game was Jimmy Garoppolo played up to his contract, because I think he really did. He showed that he can ball. I mean, he showed it before, but, he put together quite the game. They have some really good, underrated playmakers on San Francisco's offense. So I think that's going to benefit them as well. And yeah, Kyle Shanahan, like you were talking about, his play calling is something else. I'd put it up there with a Sean McVay, Andy Reid type.
He's right
It
there.
seems like genius, you know?
Yeah.
So I think they're going to be an exciting team to follow. I don't know how great they're going to be, but yeah, they're going to be fun to watch. That's for sure.
Yeah, especially after how they've looked the last couple of years. It's nice for one of the bigger fan bases in the league to have a respectable team.
Mm-hmm.
After having to go through Chip Kelly and Jim Tomsula, like they've definitely earned a good football team. Yeah, and
Yeah.
Jimmy, you can tell each quarter he just looks a little better. Like that pick was in the first quarter, and then by the fourth quarter, like he just yeah, you can just tell that the overreaction in the preseason was clear. Like he's gonna be fine.
Mm-hmm.
He's
Yeah.
he's gonna be
Yeah.
fine. Our next game, maybe the shocker of the day. The team who lost in this game, they're lucky that it was a 1 o'clock start and there were so many other games going on, so we kind of all glossed over it. But the LA Chargers lost a huge game for them.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're in a division with a Kansas City Chiefs team that it looks like their over under for wins should have been set at 13. Like I don't know how the Chiefs aren't winning at minimum 12. Like they're that good.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're the Chargers and you have your sights set on winning the division and not having to go on the road 3 times to get to the Super Bowl, like that's the way you're going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Realistically, is winning that division. And so you can't drop games like this one. And I know Lions fans are going to want us to give them credit and be like, whatever. But the takeaway from this game is same old Chargers. This is
Mm-hmm.
a classic LA Chargers, San Diego Chargers loss from 2 years ago and before. Last year they righted it and they figured out a way. But man,
Mm-hmm.
miss field goals. You got their punter kicking field goals. Like, why have they not signed why? Like, I know your kicker's hurt, but why have you not signed a kicker? Like, what are you
Yeah.
doing? And then, like, I know he was good, and I know Long was good in week 1 or whatever. But at the end of the day, he's a punter. It's a different position. It would be like if your starting running back got hurt and you threw a receiver back there.
Yeah.
And like it might work 1 week, and you might find Ty Montgomery who's fine, like the
Mm-hmm.
Packers did back in the day. But at the end of the day, you need a guy who plays that position, and it
Mm-hmm.
cost them a game, and it may have well just cost them the division because you just can't lose games like that. Just
Yeah.
no excuse.
Yeah.
I'm
I was shocked seeing the outcome of this game. I mean, I don't think Detroit's going to be a very good team this year. Uh, and my big takeaway was the Chargers aren't as good as they were last year. They missed their
yeah.
window. Of course, they have a lot of injuries on their team right now, on the defense and offense. They still have their holdout situation, but I mean it's not looking good for them at this point.
You can't lose that game.
No, and like you mentioned, they're in a division with Kansas City, and Kansas City's arguably the best team in football right now. So they're going to have a tough road in the playoffs. Of course, last year they were better on the road. We'll see if they are this year. They don't really have a home stadium in LA. That's another thing to take into account. They play in a
Such a
soccer stadium. So they're kind of a joke, like when they play at home, anyways. So does being on the road in the playoffs make a huge difference? I don't know. Maybe not. But that was one they definitely need to win, and they still need to win games just to get in the playoffs, which we'll see if they can get there.
I mean, right now it's looking like you'd assume they'd get the first wild card spot. So they'd have to go to Indy or Tennessee, win that game, then go to New England or Kansas City, win that game, and then go to play whoever you didn't play in New England or Kansas City. Like that, yeah, that's just not happening.
Yeah.
And the reason that's not happening is because they're losing stupid games like this one.
Yeah.
Like,
No, I completely agree with that.
yeah, the takeaway is just like same old Chargers. Like this happened repeatedly a couple of years ago, and it's why a lot of people refused to buy into them last year. And I mean, damn man, it came back again this year. Like, what more can you say? So let's move on to probably the most hyped up 1 o'clock start.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, the Green Bay Packers are 2-0, and they are that way by way of a huge win against Minnesota. And man, I don't even know what the takeaway from this game is, and other than the Packers are in the best position uh, to win the division. Because frankly, the takeaway early was, man, their defense looks outstanding. And then, but by the end of the game, it was like, I don't even know how good their defense is because they're playing Kirk Cousins. Like, the guy is just a
Mm-hmm.
disaster when he plays an actual good football team. Like, he just gets exposed every time. And so I don't know how I'm supposed to look at the Packers. Like, yeah, their defense has looked outstanding the first 2 weeks, but they've also played Trubisky and Kirk Cousins. So, like, are they that good? I have no idea. Like, I have no idea. And you can't say Aaron Rodgers is balling out because they scored 0 points after the first quarter. Like, so it was just a bizarre game. The takeaway is a negative in this game, if anything. It's that Kirk Cousins is not ready for prime time.
Yeah.
Like I think if anything, that's the takeaway from this game. Just looking at it and just like really processing it because there's not really a positive from it.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. Like that's a good analysis of the game. I think that like you said, Green Bay they look really good in the first quarter. To be honest, I think they can show that. It shows that they have that.
Yeah,
They can be that team when they need to be. They definitely let up, but the Vikings, they have Kirk Cousins as their quarterback, sure, but if they had a different quarterback, man, they'd be good. I mean, look at their playmakers: Adam Thielen, Stephon Diggs. In the backfield, you got Dalvin Cook.
that
Like
run he had.
Dalvin Cook might be one of the best running backs in the league, and I am officially on his bandwagon full time now. He's
That run he had.
unbelievable. He is something like he's special, and but my big takeaway from the game, to be honest, was this is the Packers division to lose now.
Yeah,
It's Detroit, Minnesota, Chicago. They're all. I mean, Detroit, Matthew Stafford. He's gonna win 6 more games.
yeah.
Minnesota, like we've been over this. Don't want to beat the dead horse. And then Chicago, Mitch Trubisky, man, like we'll get into that in a bit, of course, but
The thing about Detroit that's annoying is they're the worst team in this division, but they're gonna win 2 division games.
yeah,
They do
exactly.
every single year, and they're gonna beat 2 teams that they're better than, and they're gonna hurt their playoff seed or make them miss the playoffs.
Hmm.
That's the thing about this division. So like these early season games, that's why this game was so hyped up because everybody knows that everybody can beat anybody in this division. So like those early games, like the Packers stealing one on the road at Soldier Field is huge. Getting that road win is a huge. That's why they're so far ahead in everyone's mind on their way to the division. Because I think the only team that can really challenge them for it at this point is the Packers, just because we've seen them do it, and we just haven't seen Kirk Cousins play at that high of a level against
Yeah,
high level teams. Like
yeah,
you can like say what you want about Trubisky, but at the end of the day, they won 12 games last year.
exactly.
Like they're gonna find a way to win 10, 9, 10, or 11 games.
Hmm.
But the win the Packers were able to steal away in week 1 is just gonna be huge. And yeah, it's absolutely their division to lose. I mean, shout out to Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay because the last 3 years it's been a bit of a train wreck up there, but they're at the very least looking way better than they did last year, which again for another huge fan base like we were talking about San Francisco is exciting for the league because the league is at a better place when fan bases like the Packers and 49ers are good teams.
Hmm.
Just makes the league more fun
Yeah,
when those teams because it's just sad when those teams are bad because they have just so many more fans and like everything about the league just kind of drains out. Like the Giants right now are so terrible and it just feels like it's just kind of sad. Like you're just like, ugh. But moving on to an early contender for the hardest game to pick because you can make a strong contender that these teams are identical. The Indianapolis Colts heading up to Tennessee to take on the Titans. I mean, this might be the hardest division to figure out right now, and it kind of starts and is embodied in these 2 teams
hmm,
because these 2 teams played on Sunday. They played a 16-minute football game, and I still have no idea who's better.
yeah.
Like I know the Colts won, but are they better? Like I guess. like, man, there's no possible way to do an NFL power rankings right now and not have them right next to each other. Like,
yeah, exactly.
there's just, I'm like, I guess maybe the takeaway is, I mean, if you're a Tennessee fan, damn, like, is Marcus Mariota better than Jacoby Brissett? Because, like, in watching them on the same field, I don't know how you can come to the conclusion he's way better. At the very least, he's a little better.
Yeah.
Like, at best, he's a little better. If not, they're the same guy. So that hurts if you're a Titans fan, because I don't know what you do at the end of this season. But, I mean, I'm happy for the Colts because no matter how much you like Andrew Luck, it sucks for an entire organization to lose a guy like that at the start of the season when you have Super Bowl aspirations. So to see the team keep fighting, that's one of the early positive, fun stories in the league right now is the Colts and their continual ability to play good football. I mean, I don't think anybody can say that team is a guaranteed win when they show up.
Yeah.
Which
I was surprised with this game, to be honest. I mean, after week 1 watching the Titans go into Cleveland, I know they had Cleveland come into them.
No, they went to Cleveland.
No, they went to Cleveland, and yeah, they looked impressive. So this game, yeah, just like you said, dead even. I mean, I fully expected it to be a tie. These teams are pretty much exactly the same. I think this shows Jacoby Brissett is a good quarterback.
Yeah, that's probably the take.
I think that's my big takeaway from the game. It shows that Jacoby Brissett can actually play against a decent defense. The Titans aren't an amazing team. They showed that they can be a pretty good team against Cleveland week 1, but we still don't know how good Cleveland's going to be. So it was an interesting game, that's for sure. I think what this game showed was both these teams are fringe playoffs teams.
You know what the takeaway for this game is? Delaney Walker had it right. They are who we thought they were, except he was talking about his own team. Titans are exactly who we thought they were coming in. They're going to win 9 games, maybe 8 or 9 games, and they're going to be really good. They're going to beat at least one team they shouldn't, and they're going to lose to at least 1 or 2 teams that they shouldn't, and they might make the playoffs or they might not, depending on everybody else. But they're one of those easy teams to pick. You can see their season right now, barring some bizarre injury. But yeah, the Titans are who we thought they were, and the Colts have at the very least a quarterback who, for the next 2 years, is going to allow them to remain competitive in their division.